Hello everyone, this is Sean, the underemployed philosopher from Reasoned Observations, here today to talk about how the claim that Jill Stein is anti-science is not only a false claim, but it points to a larger problem with the science fan community in general. Now, we've touched on the idea that Jill Stein is actually not anti-science, despite the claims of the Hillary Clinton camp, in an earlier video. But just to recap, they're saying that she's anti-science for two main reasons. One has to do with Wi-Fi signals. She was at a campaign event and one of her supporters asked a question about the effects of Wi-Fi on children's brains, and basically Jill Stein didn't call her own supporter stupid. She answered her question like a scientist by saying that there are some variables we don't understand, other countries are still doing research on this, and that maybe we should continue to do research on this. The other one, and the main one, is that she's being smeared as being anti-vaccine. And this is coming from some surprising quarters. Like, for some reason, the atheist community seems to be really getting behind this one, saying she's anti-science for this particular reason, even though it's been completely disproven. So, earlier I mentioned, in an earlier video that is, I mentioned that she said something on Twitter about this. Well, I went and I looked it up, so I have an exact, direct quote from Jill Stein. On July 29th, 2016, Jill Stein tweeted the following. As a medical doctor, of course I support vaccinations. I have a problem with the FDA being controlled by drug companies. Which is perfectly reasonable. Right there, in black and white or whatever colors the fonts are on your computer screen. She says, I am not anti-vaccination. I support vaccination. That's what she actually said. She didn't say she's not anti-vaccination. She said she supports vaccinations. I wrote it on a piece of cardboard. So, Jill Stein supports vaccinations. But the thing that seems to be inflaming people that I don't quite understand is they're saying that it's a conspiracy theory to say that corporations are influencing the FDA's regulatory policies. Now, these are the same kind of people who admit that we do need to get money out of politics. The next obvious step is, why do we need to get money out of politics? Well, it's because we have a situation where there are corporations who are essentially running the FDA. I mean, it's a revolving door between the companies that are being regulated and the regulators themselves. They just swap in and out over and over again. And that is having an effect on the regulations for what the government is saying we're allowed to have in our bodies. And that does affect the process down the line. Because corporate money, if they spend all this money on marketing this drug, you don't think they're going to slide a few million under the table to some regulators to make sure it gets through despite however many deaths it might cause? This has happened time and again. There's nothing conspiratorial about it. It's the facts. I wonder if these people watch Aaron Brockovich and are like, oh, conspiracy theories. But no, that's ridiculous. Now, Jill Stein went on, when she was talking about vaccines, to say that in a more recent interview from sometime in July, she also said that, yeah, when I was earlier on in my medical career, we were looking at vaccines and we had some questions and some issues, and some of those haven't been resolved, and maybe we should continue to do research. That's not anti-science. That's wanting more science. That's what science does. And this is the problem I wanted to talk about today, is people are confusing science with religion. Religion is pretty much set in stone. Not getting any new information in religion. Religion is coming from books from thousands of years ago, written by people who don't have any concept of what the modern world is going to be like. For the most part, there are some religions that don't seem so ridiculous, but Christianity, the Abrahamic religions really, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, they're not getting any new information. Science isn't a religion. Science is a method of study. We're continually getting new information in science, and part of science is questioning science, and that's something that's not actually happening that much anymore. See, because the money for research dollars goes into new groundbreaking studies that find new things, which are often not repeated. Experiments aren't being replicated in labs. And that's a problem, because we could have false positive results, or results that are wrong, or just straight up fabrications. And recently some psychologists looked into like a study on 100 research studies and found that nearly 2/3 of those couldn't be replicated with the same results in a laboratory setting. And that's a problem because capitalism has now started perverting science. I mean, it's been going on for years now, but the money is in the new flashy research that makes good headlines. The money's not in the actual science, in the diligent reproduction and investigation of an idea. That's science. Big flashy headlines, not science. How do you get those headlines? Yeah, that's science. But it's important to continue the process of sciencing. Sciencing? Yeah, sciencing. So, that's a problem. I'd like to talk about that more some other time, but right now, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Check back again later, and we'll have some more reasoned observations again soon. Have a great day. Hello again, everyone. Quick postscript here. I wanted to mention that it's ridiculous that Jill Stein is being called the anti-science candidate this time around, when really, Hillary Clinton is obviously the anti-science candidate this time around, because she denies the science of global warming. She doesn't believe the scientists. She doesn't agree with the scientists that say that we are nearing the tipping point, if we haven't already passed the point of no return already, where we have to stop polluting. We have to stop these greenhouse gas emissions. We have to curb fossil fuel use and all of these things that we've been saying for decades. But she is opposed to the science that says that this is an immediate problem that needs to be addressed right now before anything else. Because while vaccines is an obvious, pretty open and shut case of, yeah, vaccines are good, and if we were to not have vaccines, that would be bad. But global warming, if we don't stop this, it's not just humans that are gonna die, it's the entire planet. And sure, it'll be able to recover, but human beings as a species probably gonna be over with. And Hillary Clinton is denying that science. She's still taking money from the big oil companies, from the fracking companies. She still supports fracking. In the debate, I know she said that she supports it with a bunch of little caveats, but that's not really anything. Fracking is bad. It's bad in my backyard, it's bad in your backyard, it's bad in nobody's backyard because it's still bad. Fracking causes earthquakes. It contaminates the groundwater, and anything that causes earthquakes is probably not a good thing to be doing. I'm just as a general rule of thumb. So, Jill Stein's not anti-science, Hillary Clinton is anti-science. Donald Trump's probably anti-science. I mean, who knows? He might not even talk about science. He probably has several different theories on science, but I don't care. Hillary Clinton's anti-science. Jill Stein is the pro-science candidate this time around. So just think about that next time somebody tries to tell you that Jill Stein's anti-vaccine and anti-science, because they're putting their heads in the sand. Alright, now, have a great day. Thank you for watching, and we'll have some more reasoned observations in a little bit. Not quite as soon as these came, but later on. Okay, have a great day, guys. Thanks.